Hello again, everyone. Deflect here, Firm but Fair Gaming, and we have come to a day. I woke up this morning to some news that Blizzard might have finally done it. Finally killed Og Evoker in patch 11.1. Now, again, this is going to come down to tuning and all that fun stuff because, they still might be taking if they're OP on damage, but I doubt it. And you're going to ask why, oh why, oh why, and how did they manage to do it? So, backstory, Og Evoker has been absolutely meta since they came out, and going through that, it is strictly based on survivability. It's not their damage. Their damage is okay, and it's on par with everything else right now, or just minorly below. There's actually some classes that do less damage than Og Evoker, which is pretty fucking sad if you're going through DPS. So Og Evoker's up here, and all these classes get shit on because you don't bring all the group buffs and all the utility that Og Evoker does, and they're doing more damage than you. So, sucks to be you. Basically is what Blizzard thought. They are used in almost every key above a plus 15. I wouldn't even know what page to start on to look for a group that didn't have an Og Evoker somewhere. And the reason Og Evoker was so good, this thing has been nerfed so many times since it came into play. But the Ebb and Might is what it was. It would buff your tanks and healers so you could survive, and the healers could heal more throughout the key when big damage was going off. Oh, now Blizzard said, wait a second. This is now going on consecutive times. Blizzard has nerfed Og Evokers to make them not the absolute mandatory class. And here we go. They will be nerfing it, so you no longer buff the tanks and healers. The big reason why you were brought to keys. Without that, I think this will finally kill off Og Evoker out of the meta. That was, other than the utility, that was their biggest reason to bring them. It was absolutely almost, well, not mandatory, but it was a huge benefit to have them when your tanks and healers can do more themselves. And now they're going back. So close as Clutchmate, Ebb Might, and Breath of Eons was 0 more effective outside of raid. Now it's going back to 25, which it was before. So that is an increase your nearest ally's primary stat by 5% of your own. Cause you to deal 20% more damage, blah, blah. May only affect 4 allies at once and prefers to immune damage dealers. Now, does not affect tanks and healers. So, it will only affect 4 allies at once, which will only be 3 allies in Mythic Plus. So they are buffing the damage they will do, but they will no longer have more survivability. And I'm sure it is in their main statement, but it is truly changed. Would definitely remove Og Evoker as a mandatory and more dependent on its actual tuning in Mythic Plus. Absolutely. And it will make it so you have a season without the best composition, unless they're tuned like nuts and they're doing crazy damage, which I doubt it, because they're always kind of roughly around the middle of the pack, played well. So you would be taking, for instance, if this, let's just say, is a random key, you could obviously take Frost EK, Ellie Shaman, Enhancement Shaman. That could be your group comp. Like, it would just do tremendous damage. You could use Sin Rogue, Ellie Shaman, Enhancement Shaman. You'll just basically take what's tuned the best at the time. So, coming up in 11.1, there is data mine some huge changes to every class. I'm not going to go through them all because, let's be honest, it's way too early in the PTR, and all this shit's going to change anyway. Some other news from 11.1. They were just looking at tier set bonuses, so there's a lot going on with the tier set bonus. I'm not going to go through them at this time because this could all change. Druids, Hunter, Mage, and Priest all getting new update for the talent calculator in PTR. And we have your class. Oh yeah, Restoration Druids getting basically a rework. So they're doing that. Tank buffs. Now, This is written very weirdly. So, threat buff for tanks in patch 11.0.7 hotfix. In data mine class changes for 11.1. So, which is it? Is it now been hotfixed so you get more threat now, or is it coming? I'm not sure, but this is a welcome change because I think the stat was if you're doing 5 times the damage of your tank at points, you will rip aggro. So it is very possible for you to rip aggro off your tank when you start your huge burst of some classes. So there's giving tanks 22% more aggro, which is always a welcome change. Should have been done, personally, in my opinion, earlier when, you know, tanks are having massive threat issues. But now that tanks are fully geared, if you had an over-geared DPS in your key or one that out-geared your tank, they could rip aggro very easily. So, those are the changes. Like I said, I'm not going to go through the data mine shit for 11.1. That's going to change from now till the end of November when they're projecting, or end of February when they're projecting. So we got some time to go through that later on. But yes, this will bring AUG out of the meta. That's the big news of the day. They're finally hanging it up for a season. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Like, share, subscribe. Deflect, Firm But Fair Gaming. See you in the next video.